Hello and welcome. Tonight, we are about to take a long journey, not through ordinary history, but through the deepest and most puzzling corners of the past. These are places where the records end, where the evidence whispers, and where the truth hides just beyond our reach. For thousands of years, human beings have built monuments, carved symbols, written stories, and left behind objects that challenge our understanding of what they knew and what they were capable of. Some of these wonders seem to make sense at first glance: pyramids, ancient temples, lost cities. But when we look closer, the questions begin to grow. How were they built? Why were they built? And sometimes, who even built them at all? In this journey, we will not be rushing. We will move slowly, gently, drifting through each mystery one by one, as if wandering through the halls of an ancient library by candlelight. Some of the mysteries you may have heard before: the pyramids of Egypt, Stonehenge, the lost city of Atlantis. Others may be less familiar: hidden stories from forgotten civilizations. But all of them share one thing in common: no one has ever been able to fully explain them. So, let your thoughts grow quiet. Let the questions of the modern world fade away. Tonight, we are not here to solve these mysteries, but to feel them, to drift with them, to wonder at them. Close your eyes if you wish, relax, and come with me as we step into the endless world of ancient mysteries that still have no answer. The Great Pyramids of Egypt, an impossible legacy. We begin our journey under the desert sun of ancient Egypt. Rising from the golden sands of Giza are three immense shapes, pyramids so vast, so precise, that even after 4,500 years, they dominate the horizon as if time itself cannot move them. The largest of them all, the Great Pyramid built for Pharaoh Khufu, was once the tallest human-made structure in the world for nearly 4,000 years. More than 2 million stone blocks, some weighing as much as 70 tons, stacked with a precision so exact that even modern engineers pause to wonder how it was possible. The official story tells us they were tombs, monuments to kings. But when we look closer, the answers blur. No hieroglyphs decorate the walls inside. No mummies have been found resting within the great chambers. The so-called sarcophagus inside the king's chamber is too large to have been brought through the narrow passageways, meaning it was placed there before the pyramid was sealed, or perhaps even before the pyramid was finished. And then there is the question of alignment. Each pyramid at Giza is oriented almost perfectly to the cardinal directions, with an accuracy within a fraction of a degree. The three pyramids together seem to mirror the stars of Orion's belt, glowing above in the Egyptian night sky. Was this chance, or a deliberate design to link Earth with the heavens? The deeper we look, the stranger it becomes. Modern scanning has revealed hidden cavities within the Great Pyramid, vast, unexplored spaces that may hold secrets we have never touched. Ancient texts speak of the pyramids as places of power, knowledge, even as a gateway to the stars. Some believe they were not merely tombs, but something greater: an ancient machine, a library in stone, a message left for the future. And the truth is, no one knows for certain. The Great Pyramids remain silent, as they always have. Their massive stones hold their secrets tightly, while the desert winds continue to whisper around them. They are perhaps the greatest riddle of all. standing for eternity, daring us to keep asking questions. The Great Sphinx, guardian of secrets, beside the pyramids, half buried in sand for most of its long life, rests a creature carved from stone. The body of a lion, the head of a man, silent, watching, waiting. This is the Great Sphinx of Giza, one of the largest and most mysterious statues in the world. It stretches more than 200 feet in length, towering over the desert, with an expression that has puzzled travelers for thousands of years. Who built it? And when? Most Egyptologists believe it was carved around 2500 BCE, in the time of Pharaoh Khafre. But some clues suggest the story may be far older. The patterns of erosion on its body look less like damage from wind and sand, and more like the marks of heavy rain. Yet, rain has not fallen in such abundance on the Giza Plateau for many thousands of years, long before the reign of the pharaohs we know. Could this mean the Sphinx was carved in a forgotten age when Egypt was green and fertile, long before history officially began? Then there is the matter of its face. Many believe the current head is too small for the massive body, as if the statue once had a different face, later recarved into the image of a pharaoh. If true, then whose face first watched over the pyramids? A king lost to time, a god, or perhaps something else entirely? Legends whisper that beneath the Sphinx lie hidden chambers, halls of records, said to contain knowledge from a civilization that came before Egypt itself. Explorers have searched, and ground-penetrating radar has hinted at voids under the stone paws. But the Sphinx remains silent, guarding its secrets as carefully as it always has. For thousands of years, sand has risen and fallen around its body, covering it, burying it, revealing it again. Empires have come and gone, and still the Sphinx watches, as if waiting for the day when we are ready to understand. Some mysteries are written in books, some in legends, but the mystery of the Sphinx is carved into the earth itself. A lost labyrinth of Egypt, a maze beyond imagination, beyond the grandeur of the pyramids and the silent gaze of the Sphinx. Ancient historians spoke of an even more mysterious wonder, the Labyrinth of Egypt. This was no ordinary structure. According to Greek historians like Herodotus and later Strabo, the labyrinth was a sprawling complex of stone, possibly covering an area larger than the Great Pyramid itself. It was said to contain thousands of rooms, vast corridors, underground chambers, and temples, all intricately connected in a maze that confounded even the most skilled explorers of the ancient world. The labyrinth was located near the city of Crocodilopolis, in the region of Fayum. It was said to house the tombs of kings, priests, and sacred relics, as well as temples dedicated to the gods. Some accounts even suggested that it contained chambers filled with inscriptions, paintings, and treasures beyond imagination. Libraries of knowledge carved in stone, chronicling the history, science, and spirituality of an entire civilization. Imagine standing in the labyrinth's corridors, walking through halls lined with towering columns, their surfaces etched with intricate symbols. Sunlight streams through narrow openings, casting long shadows across stone floors. The air is heavy with history, dust, and the faint scent of incense that may have lingered for centuries. Somewhere in the maze, a chamber opens into a temple, where the walls depict the pharaoh's journey to the afterlife, surrounded by gods, guardians, and symbols of eternity. Every step seems to echo with the voices of those long gone, as if the labyrinth itself remembers its builders. Even in modern times, fragments of the labyrinth's design can be glimpsed in ruins and foundations found near the Fayum region. Some scholars suggest that beneath the desert sands lie vast networks of chambers waiting to be uncovered. Ground-penetrating radar and archaeological surveys have revealed anomalies, spaces that hint at structures of extraordinary scale and complexity. Could these be remnants of the lost labyrinth, holding secrets that have slept for millennia? A labyrinth is more than just stone and mortar. It is a symbol of human ambition and the pursuit of knowledge. It reminds us that civilizations of the past achieved feats that still challenge our understanding today. Its story teaches patience, curiosity, and reverence for the mysteries that time refuses to reveal fully. As the sun sets over the Egyptian plains, the shadows of the pyramids stretch toward the horizon, merging with the sands that may cover the labyrinth. The wind whispers across the desert, carrying stories of kings and priests, treasures and tombs, halls and corridors. The labyrinth remains hidden, yet it speaks to us across time, of human ingenuity, devotion, and the eternal quest to connect with the divine. And though we may never fully map its corridors or uncover its chambers, the lost labyrinth continues to inspire wonder, reminding us that some of the greatest mysteries of history lie not only in what we see, but in what we imagine, in what has been forgotten, and in the spaces where history and legend intertwine. In the rolling plains of southern England, where the grass sways gently under a pale sky, stands a circle of stones that has confounded humanity for thousands of years. This is Stonehenge, a prehistoric monument whose purpose, construction, and meaning remain some of the most enduring mysteries of our ancient past. At first glance, it appears simple, massive stones arranged in concentric circles, but as you step closer, the scale and precision of the structure become impossible to ignore. The largest stones, known as sarsens, weigh up to 25 tons each, standing upright, with horizontal lintels balanced perfectly across their tops. Smaller bluestones, transported from distant mountains hundreds of miles away, are placed within the circle, forming intricate patterns whose alignment appears anything but accidental. Stonehenge was built in stages over more than 1,000 years, beginning around 3000 BCE and continuing until 2000 BCE. Who were the people who raised these stones? How did they transport massive rocks without the wheel, cranes, or modern engineering? And why dedicate such immense effort to a structure whose purpose still eludes us? Scholars have proposed many theories. Some believe Stonehenge was a celestial observatory, aligned with the solstices and equinoxes. On the summer solstice, for example, the sunrise aligns perfectly with the heel stone, casting long shadows that mark the longest day of the year. Was this a calendar, a ritual device, or a way to track celestial movements? Others argue it was a sacred site, a place of ceremonies, burials, and worship, a spiritual center that connected the living with the cosmos and the spirits of ancestors. Stonehenge is not only a feat of engineering, but also of human vision. Each stone seems placed with intention, each circle perfectly aligned, as though the builders sought to capture something beyond the material world. Some theories even suggest acoustic properties. that chanting or sound would resonate through the stones during rituals, adding another layer of mystery to the monument's purpose. Walking among the stones today, you feel the weight of history. The wind carries the echoes of ceremonies long forgotten, and the soft hum of the surrounding plains seems to vibrate with ancient energy. One can imagine druidic figures moving in solemn processions, fires burning, music and chants filling the night air, all under a sky mapped with stars familiar to people who lived millennia before us. Over the centuries, Stonehenge has weathered storms, human interference, and shifting sands. Archaeological studies have revealed hidden pits, post holes, and evidence of timber structures once part of the site, hinting at phases of construction and use that are still not fully understood. Despite modern research, every answer seems to raise new questions, deepening the sense of awe and wonder. Stonehenge is more than stone and earth. It is a connection between people and the universe, between past and present. Its presence reminds us that ancient humans were not primitive. They were visionary, seeking to understand the heavens, honor the dead, and mark their place in the cosmos. Every sunrise and sunset, every solstice and lunar alignment carries the echo of their intention, preserved in stone for thousands of years. Stonehenge does not yield its meaning easily. It does not answer our questions directly. Instead, it invites reflection, contemplation, and a sense of wonder. It asks us to imagine, to feel, and to honor the ingenuity and spirituality of people whose lives and beliefs are still largely hidden from view. And so, as you let your gaze wander across the ancient stones, the sun dipping below the horizon, you understand why Stonehenge continues to captivate, inspire, and mystify. It is a monument to human ambition, to celestial wonder, and to the mysteries that endure, long after the hands that built it have vanished into history. Easter Island, the silent guardians, far out in the vast expanse of the Pacific Ocean, over 2,000 miles from the coast of Chile, lies a small, windswept island known as Rapa Nui, or Easter Island. Here, scattered across its rugged terrain, stand nearly 900 monumental statues called Moai, silent sentinels whose gaze seems to follow you across the landscape. These stone figures are among the most enigmatic creations of the human past. Their purpose and construction still shrouded in mystery. The Moai vary in size, but some are colossal. The tallest ever erected stands over 30 feet high, weighing more than 80 tons. Each statue is carved from volcanic tuff, a type of soft rock found on the island. Yet the precision and scale of the work remain astounding. Their elongated faces, deep eye sockets, and pronounced chins convey a sense of solemnity and authority, as if they were designed to protect, watch over, or guide the island's inhabitants. The Moai were carved between the 10th and 16th centuries by the Rapa Nui people. Over centuries, these statues were transported from the quarry at Rano Raraku, a volcanic crater, to various ceremonial sites called Ahu, where they were erected on stone platforms facing inland. The methods used to move and erect the Moai remain a subject of debate and fascination. Some researchers believe they were walked upright using ropes and careful balance, while others suggest rolling them on logs or dragging them with sledges. Beyond their sheer physical achievement, the Moai carry profound cultural and spiritual significance. They are believed to represent ancestors or important figures, projecting mana, a spiritual energy, over the island. By facing inland, they watched over villages, linking the living with the divine, protecting the people, and ensuring prosperity. Each statue is unique, with subtle variations in facial features, body proportions, and posture, a silent testimony to the individuality of those they represent. Yet the Moai are not the only mystery of Easter Island. The island's history is marked by environmental change, societal upheaval, and sudden population decline. At one time, Rapa Nui was covered with forests, providing timber for building, moving statues, and sustaining life. Over centuries, deforestation occurred, possibly due to human activity and the introduction of Polynesian rats. The loss of trees may have contributed to the collapse of the island's complex society, leaving the Moai as the remaining witnesses to a vanished culture. Legends of the island tell of gods and spirits guiding the people, of mystical powers granting the statues the ability to walk. These tales, passed down through generations, add to the aura of mystery. Modern experiments have shown that with careful coordination, large groups could indeed walk the statues forward, hinting that myth and reality may intertwine in surprising ways. Easter Island is also geographically isolated, which heightens the mystery. How did Polynesian navigators reach such a remote island so far from other land? How did they establish a thriving society capable of sustaining monumental construction in such a fragile environment? The combination of isolation, ingenuity, and eventual societal collapse paints a complex picture of human adaptation and ambition. Walking among the Moai today, one feels a deep sense of stillness. The statues, their eyes now hollow, but once adorned with coral and obsidian, seem to watch silently as the wind sweeps across the volcanic soil. The cliffs and beaches glimmer under the sun, waves breaking rhythmically, and the air carries a faint scent of salt and volcanic rock. It is as if the island itself is alive, holding memory in stone, whispering tales of devotion, struggle, and endurance. Archaeologists continue to uncover more about Rapa Nui, hidden platforms, quarries, and fallen statues. Yet every answer seems to raise more questions. Why were some Moai toppled, possibly during internecine conflict? How did the society coordinate such monumental tasks over generations? And what lessons can we learn from the rise and fall of this isolated civilization? Easter Island is a testament to both the heights of human creativity and the fragility of societal systems. Its Moai are guardians of memory, watching over a landscape that has witnessed triumph and tragedy, ambition and loss. They remind us that even in isolation, human beings strive to connect with the divine, to mark their presence on the world, and to leave behind something enduring. As the sun sets, painting the sky in shades of orange, purple, and deep blue, the Moai cast long shadows across the plains. The ocean stretches endlessly beyond, a reminder of the island's solitude. And in that stillness, one can almost hear the whispers of the Rapa Nui people, echoing across centuries, carried by the wind, their stories immortalized in stone. Easter Island remains a place of awe and contemplation. Its Moai do not speak, yet they communicate in silence, inviting us to reflect on time, ambition, and the mysteries that endure long after civilizations vanish. Yonaguni Monument, Japan's sunken enigma. Beneath the turquoise waters off the coast of Yonaguni, in southern Japan, lies a structure that has baffled scientists, archaeologists, and divers for decades. Known as the Yonaguni Monument, this submerged formation rises like a sunken city from the seabed, a labyrinth of terraces, steps, and angular walls carved from solid rock. Its existence raises a profound question. Is it a natural geological formation or a relic of an ancient civilization lost beneath the waves? The monument sits roughly 100 feet below the surface of the East China Sea, where currents sweep over its surface, leaving it hidden for much of history. It was first brought to attention in the 1980s by a local diver, Kihachiro Aratake, and later studied in detail by marine geologist Masaki Kimura. What they found was astonishing: terraces and platforms that appeared intentionally shaped, steps that were too straight to be purely natural, and right angles that hinted at human design. The largest terraces are several meters high and stretch across the seabed like the foundations of an ancient temple. Some formations resemble pyramidal structures, while others have holes and channels cut into the rock that suggest purpose and functionality. There are even shapes that resemble roads or pathways, connecting one section to another. Every dive reveals more features, yet each discovery deepens the mystery. If this is man-made, who built it and why? Some researchers argue it could date back 10,000 years before the end of the last ice age, when sea levels were lower and the site might have been above water. If so, this would place it among the oldest known structures created by humans, predating even the Great Pyramids of Egypt. Such a timeline challenges conventional understanding of ancient civilizations, suggesting a level of architectural sophistication far earlier than previously believed. Yet others claim it is a natural formation, sculpted by tectonic activity, erosion, and ocean currents. Indeed, the region is geologically active, with earthquakes, shifting seabeds, and underwater landslides shaping the rock. But the precision of some features, including near-perfect 90-degree angles and flat terraces, is difficult to explain purely through natural processes. Could it be that nature and human hands collaborated, or that our ancestors mastered techniques now lost to time? Adding to the intrigue are legends of submerged lands in Japanese folklore. Tales speak of ancient kingdoms swallowed by the sea, of lost cities and civilizations that vanished beneath the waves. Could Yonaguni be one such kingdom, a fragment of human history preserved underwater, waiting for the world to rediscover it? Diving among the monument's terraces is like stepping into another world. Sunlight filters through the water, casting shimmering patterns on the stone. Fish and marine life weave through the crevices, adding movement to the stillness of the ancient rock. It's easy to imagine priests or rulers walking along these terraces, performing rituals, or perhaps using the structure for astronomical observation, as many ancient societies did with stone and alignment. The monument also raises questions about human resilience and adaptation. If it is indeed man-made, constructing such a site with the technology available in a prehistoric era would require advanced knowledge of stonework, geometry, and coordination. Moving massive stones, shaping them with precision, and aligning terraces to specific orientations underwater or before submersion is a task that continues to baffle modern engineers. Even now, modern technology is employed to uncover its secrets. Sonar mapping, 3D modeling, and underwater excavation continue to reveal new features, yet the full scale and purpose of Yonaguni remain elusive. Every discovery brings fascination, but also humility. We are confronted with the limits of our knowledge, reminded that human history is far more complex than our records suggest. Yonaguni also serves as a reminder of nature's power and time's inexorable march. What may once have been a bustling ceremonial center or city is now a quiet, mysterious monument beneath the sea, shaped by both human hands and the tides of millennia. Its preservation underwater has kept it intact, yet hidden, so that only the most patient and curious explorers can glimpse its grandeur. The underwater silence adds to the sense of mystery. Unlike deserts or mountains, the sea muffles sound and light, creating an otherworldly atmosphere. Divers often report a feeling of awe and reverence, as though the monument itself commands respect. Every step along the terraces is a journey into the unknown, where stone whispers stories older than written history, inviting us to ponder civilizations lost to memory and time. The Yonaguni Monument is more than rock and terraces. It is a bridge across eons, connecting us to possible worlds we cannot fully imagine. Whether crafted by human hands or shaped by nature, it inspires wonder, curiosity, and humility. It challenges our assumptions about ancient knowledge and reminds us that the past holds many secrets still submerged, waiting for those willing to seek them. As the sun sets over the waters of Okinawa, the currents glint golden in the fading light, and the monument lies beneath, steadfast and silent. It has endured tides, storms, and centuries of mystery. It waits patiently, as it has for thousands of years, for humanity to continue asking the questions that may never be fully answered, yet always inspire awe. The sunken city of Dwarka, India's lost civilization. Off the coast of Gujarat, India, in the shimmering waters of the Arabian Sea, lies a secret long submerged beneath waves, the ancient city of Dwarka. For centuries, legends spoke of this city as the dwelling place of Lord Krishna, one of the most revered figures in Indian mythology. The Mahabharata describes Dwarka as a magnificent city, adorned with golden palaces, high walls, and bustling streets. A civilization so grand that it dazzled all who witnessed it. But was it only a story, a myth woven into epic poetry? Modern science suggests otherwise. In the 1980s, marine archaeologists led by Dr. S.R. Rao discovered structures submerged off the coast of present-day Dwarka. Stone walls, foundations, and geometric formations were found beneath the waves, some dating back over 5,000 years. The city's ruins stretched for kilometers, suggesting a highly organized settlement with streets, residential areas, and fortifications. Some experts believe that Dwarka may have been one of the oldest port cities in the world, linking maritime trade routes between India, Mesopotamia, and other ancient civilizations. The mystery of Dwarka goes beyond mere archaeology. The Mahabharata and other ancient texts describe the city as intricately planned, with wide streets, fortified walls, and palaces gleaming in gold. Could these legends reflect reality? If so, it would mean that a sophisticated civilization existed in India thousands of years before many modern historians acknowledge. The texts speak of Krishna as a ruler, a visionary, and a warrior whose city symbolized harmony, innovation, and divine influence. Dwarka was not just a habitation, it was a living expression of culture, faith, and human ambition. Diving beneath the waters today, one can see the submerged remains of walls, platforms, and artifacts. Massive stones arranged in rectangular patterns hint at urban planning, while scattered pottery, anchors, and tools suggest a thriving maritime culture. Some formations appear too precise to be natural, indicating advanced construction techniques and a deep understanding of architecture and engineering. Currents, tides, and centuries of sediment have hidden much of the city, yet the outlines of streets and structures remain visible to those willing to explore. The timing of the city's submersion adds another layer of mystery. Geological studies suggest that rising sea levels and tectonic activity may have gradually swallowed the city, placing it beneath several meters of water. If Dwarka was indeed submerged around 1,500 to 2000 BCE, it would coincide with periods of climate change and oceanic shifts. Could natural disasters have forced its inhabitants to abandon their magnificent city? Or did the submersion happen slowly, leaving some structures partially intact for the ocean to conceal? Yet Dwarka is not only about architecture or urban planning. It embodies the intersection of myth and reality, faith and history. For centuries, it was dismissed as legend, a story passed down in epic poetry. The underwater discoveries now force us to reconsider the relationship between myth and archaeology. Perhaps legends were not mere imagination, but echoes of events, places, and civilizations long hidden from view. Walking along the submerged streets, one can imagine life in Dwarka at its height. Merchants bringing exotic goods from distant lands, priests conducting rituals in elaborate temples, children running along stone-paved avenues, and Krishna himself guiding his people. The city would have been vibrant, full of color, sound, and life, a bustling hub of culture and devotion. The waters that now cover Dwarka are calm, yet they hold centuries of history. Every wave lapping against the ruins is a reminder of the passage of time, of civilizations rising and falling, of knowledge and memory swallowed by the sea. Yet beneath these waters, the city endures, waiting for explorers to uncover its secrets and for humanity to remember its grandeur. Dwarka also teaches a lesson about impermanence and resilience. Even the greatest cities, no matter how grand, can be overtaken by nature. Yet their stories, inscribed in texts, preserved in artifacts, and whispered by the waters, endure. Dwarka connects us to the past, not only through stone and mortar, but through imagination, faith, and curiosity, bridging thousands of years to the present day. As the sun sets over the Arabian Sea, the waters glint in shades of gold and crimson. The submerged city remains hidden, silent, and mysterious, yet it continues to inspire awe and wonder. Dwarka reminds us that some of history's greatest treasures are not only what we see, but what lies beneath the surface, waiting, patient, eternal. Heraklion and Canopus, Egypt's sunken twin cities, beneath the waters of the Mediterranean, near the mouth of the Nile in Egypt, lie the submerged remains of two ancient cities that once thrived in splendor, Heraklion and Canopus. Lost for over 1,000 years beneath the waves, these cities were rediscovered in the late 20th and early 21st centuries, revealing treasures, temples, and monuments that had long been thought lost to history. Their story is one of grandeur, mystique, and the inexorable power of nature. Heraklion, also known as Thonis in ancient Egyptian texts, was a bustling port city, a hub of trade connecting Egypt with Greece, Phoenicia, and beyond. Canopus, slightly to the east, was famous for its temples, particularly the Temple of Serapis, which drew pilgrims from across the ancient world. Both cities were deeply intertwined with religion, commerce, and the Nile's lifeblood, their prosperity dependent on waterways that linked them to the heart of Egypt. The underwater discoveries have been nothing short of astonishing. Marine archaeologists, led by Franck Gaudiot and his team, have revealed streets paved with stone, colossal statues partially buried in sand, temples with intricate reliefs, and thousands of artifacts, including coins, pottery, and jewelry. The scale of what has been uncovered suggests a society of remarkable sophistication, capable of monumental architecture and complex urban planning. One of the most striking aspects of Heraklion and Canopus is the state of preservation. The cities lie beneath up to 30 feet of water, shielded from human interference for centuries. Massive statues, some over 20 feet tall, stand almost upright in their original positions. Stone carvings depict pharaohs, gods, and scenes of daily life, frozen in time. Temples reveal inscriptions and hieroglyphs that illuminate religious practices, political power, and the cultural exchange between Egypt and the Mediterranean world. Yet, the cities also hold enduring mysteries. How did these thriving metropolises disappear beneath the waves? Geological studies suggest a combination of natural disasters, earthquakes, soil liquefaction, rising sea levels, and catastrophic floods led to the gradual sinking of the cities around the 8th century CE. But the precise timeline and sequence remain uncertain. Was it sudden, a single cataclysmic event, or a slow, inexorable submersion over decades? The answer continues to elude scholars. Heraklion and Canopus were not only centers of trade, but also of ritual and divine reverence. The Temple of Amun in Heraklion, partially recovered from the seabed, contained statues of pharaohs and gods, sacred inscriptions, and offerings that suggest elaborate ceremonies. Canopus was famed for its Temple of Serapis, where pilgrims sought healing and spiritual guidance. These temples were more than buildings. They were hubs of connection between humans and the divine, places where the world above and the waters below met in sacred ritual. Walking, or rather imagining walking through the streets of Heraklion, one can envision the hustle and bustle of a thriving port. Ships laden with grains, papyrus, and treasures from distant lands dock at the quays. Merchants shout their wares, priests lead processions to the temples, and artisans craft jewelry and sculptures. Canopus, with its sprawling sanctuaries, sees pilgrims moving silently, lighting incense and seeking divine favor. Sought. The cities were alive, vibrant, and dynamic, centers of human ambition and devotion. Modern technology has helped illuminate more mysteries. Sonar mapping, submersible dives, and 3D reconstructions reveal street layouts, city planning, and the interconnectedness of the two cities. Underwater explorations have uncovered coins, anchors, and pottery, hinting at trade networks and cultural exchange that spanned continents. Yet, even as more is discovered, many questions remain unanswered. What daily life looked like for ordinary citizens, how governance was structured, and the full extent of religious ceremonies. The story of Heraklion and Canopus also reminds us of impermanence. Despite their grandeur, these cities were ultimately claimed by nature. Earthquakes shook foundations, soil shifted, and the Nile's waters gradually swallowed streets and temples. What once was bustling commerce, grand architecture, and human achievement became silent, preserved under layers of sand and water. Yet their story is not lost. The underwater ruins allow us to glimpse civilizations long vanished, teaching us about ambition, faith, and resilience. As the sun sets over the Mediterranean, the waters shimmer with golden light, hiding the ruins below, yet revealing glimpses through waves and reflections. Diving into these waters is like stepping back in time, a journey to cities that thrived, fell, and endured in silence. Heraclean and Canopus invite us to ponder human achievement, the power of nature, and the mysteries that endure long after civilizations vanish. These sunken cities are not merely relics of the past. They are bridges to understanding our own history. They ask us to consider the fragility of human endeavors, the endurance of culture, and the connection between humans and the forces of the earth. And as the waves gently lap against the remains, they whisper stories of grandeur, devotion, and the eternal enigma of civilizations lost to time. Atlantis, the legendary lost continent. For millennia, the story of Atlantis has captivated the human imagination. First described by the Greek philosopher Plato around 360 BCE, Atlantis is said to have been a vast, powerful island civilization that vanished beneath the ocean in a single day and night of catastrophe. Its story has inspired explorers, philosophers, and dreamers alike, a symbol of human ambition, mystery, and the fragility of civilization. According to Plato, Atlantis existed far beyond the known world, a kingdom of unimaginable wealth and technological prowess. It was ruled by kings descended from the god Poseidon, who bestowed upon the people great wisdom and power. The island was described as a series of concentric rings, alternating land and water, with canals, harbors, and bridges connecting its districts. Temples, palaces, and gardens flourished, reflecting the civilization's skill, artistry, and harmony with nature. The level of advancement attributed to Atlantis is astonishing. Legends speak of complex engineering, abundant resources, and sophisticated governance. Bridges and canals allowed transportation and trade across the island. Temples gleamed with precious metals and stones, and the citizens were said to excel in philosophy, astronomy, and agriculture. Some accounts even hint at devices or technologies that seem impossibly advanced for the time, sparking debate over whether Plato's story contains kernels of historical truth or pure allegory. Despite its grandeur, Atlantis is most remembered for its sudden destruction. According to Plato, the people grew corrupt, abandoning the harmony and wisdom of their forebears. In response, the gods unleashed a cataclysm. Earthquakes, floods, and massive waves swallowed the island, sinking it into the depths of the Atlantic Ocean. Atlantis disappeared, leaving only tales, dreams, and warnings for future generations. Throughout history, many have sought the location of Atlantis. The Atlantic Ocean itself, the Mediterranean, the Caribbean, even Antarctica, has been suggested as the resting place of the lost continent. Some researchers focus on geological evidence, searching for submerged land masses or remnants of ancient tsunamis. Others study mythology, art, and literature for clues hidden in allegory and metaphor. Despite centuries of investigation, Atlantis remains elusive, a phantom at the intersection of imagination and reality. The enduring allure of Atlantis lies not only in its supposed existence, but in what it represents, the pinnacle of human achievement and the peril of hubris. It reminds us that even the most advanced societies are vulnerable to nature, conflict, and the passage of time. The sunken continent symbolizes both aspiration and caution, a dream of what could be achieved and a warning of what can be lost. Modern science offers tantalizing possibilities. Sonar mapping of the ocean floor has revealed submerged plateaus, ridges, and geological formations that could correspond to ancient landmasses. Some suggest that Atlantis was inspired by real events, such as the volcanic destruction of Thera, Santorini, around 1600 BCE, which devastated the Minoan civilization. Could Plato have woven together memory, myth, and warning into a story that endures even today? Imagining life in Atlantis is a journey into wonder. One can picture bustling harbors with ships carrying goods across the seas, palaces shining in the sun, scholars observing the stars, and temples resonating with chants and rituals. Citizens lived in harmony with water, soil, and stone, shaping their world with ingenuity and skill. The canals, bridges, and gardens formed a civilization that seamlessly blended utility, beauty, and spiritual devotion. Yet beneath this vision lies mystery. Was Atlantis a real place, swallowed by the ocean? Or was it Plato's allegory, teaching lessons about virtue, governance, and the dangers of greed? Perhaps it is both, a story rooted in memory, magnified by imagination, preserved for millennia to challenge, inspire, and provoke thought. Even today, Atlantis continues to inspire explorers, writers, and dreamers. It is referenced in books, films, and popular culture. But beyond entertainment, it invites reflection. It encourages us to consider the impermanence of human achievement, the power of nature, and the importance of wisdom and harmony. It reminds us that knowledge, culture, and civilization are precious, yet fragile, and that history often hides its lessons beneath layers of legend and time. As we envision the sun setting over a calm ocean, Atlantis lies silent beneath the waves, a submerged realm of imagination, memory, and mystery. Perhaps its treasures are buried deep in the sands of the sea, or perhaps they exist only in thought and story. Either way, Atlantis endures, timeless, elusive, and eternal in the human mind. Its legacy is not measured by what we can see, but by what we can imagine. Atlantis challenges us to explore, to question, and to dream, reminding us that the greatest mysteries of history are often the ones that reside just beyond our reach, in the depths of the ocean and in the depths of our own curiosity. The Bermuda Triangle, the Devil's Triangle of the Atlantic. Far out in the Atlantic Ocean lies a region shrouded in legend, fear, and fascination. The Bermuda Triangle, bounded roughly by Miami, Bermuda, and Puerto Rico. This area has been the center of countless tales of vanished ships, lost planes, and unexplained phenomena. For decades, it has captivated the imagination of scientists, sailors, pilots, and storytellers alike, earning a reputation as one of the most mysterious regions on Earth. The mystery of the Bermuda Triangle begins with its geography. It is a vast expanse of open water, subject to powerful currents, sudden storms, and shifting weather patterns. The Gulf Stream flows through the region, carrying warm water with immense speed, sometimes creating treacherous whirlpools. Beneath the waves lie deep trenches, underwater ridges, and complex topography that can affect navigation. Sonar readings and oceanic behavior. Historical accounts of strange events in the triangle stretch back centuries. Sailors reported compasses spinning erratically, sudden fogs enveloping vessels, and waves rising without warning. One of the earliest notable incidents occurred in 1918 with the disappearance of the USS Cyclops, a Navy cargo ship carrying over 300 men and a full load of manganese ore. The ship vanished without a trace, leaving behind no distress signals or wreckage, sparking the first serious suspicions of the area's supernatural or mysterious nature. Over the decades, dozens of other incidents followed. Planes disappearing mid-flight, ships found abandoned, and vessels reappearing with no crew or explanation. One famous example is the Flight 19 disappearance in 1945, a squadron of 5 U.S. Navy torpedo bombers that vanished during a routine training mission. Despite extensive searches, no evidence was found, fueling theories ranging from compass anomalies to alien abductions. The Bermuda Triangle is not only a site of disappearance, but also of sensory anomalies. Many report seeing strange lights over the water, glowing orbs, beams, or unexplained reflections. Some claim to experience sudden equipment failure, electronic malfunctions, or disorientation. Even seasoned sailors speak of an eerie feeling when entering the triangle, as though the air and water themselves carry an unseen energy. Imagining the scene, one can picture a vast ocean, waves glinting under the sun, but beneath the surface, currents twist and churn, unseen and unpredictable. A small plane crosses the horizon, its instruments flickering. A ship sails calmly, yet the wind shifts suddenly, clouds rolling in like a silent curtain. The Bermuda Triangle is a place where nature's raw power meets the limits of human perception, a reminder of how small we are against the vastness of the ocean and the mysteries it holds. The Bermuda Triangle is not only a site of disappearance, but also of sensory anomalies. Many report seeing strange lights over the water, glowing orbs, beams, or unexplained reflections. Some claim to experience sudden equipment failure, electronic malfunctions, or disorientation. Even seasoned sailors speak of an eerie feeling when entering the triangle, as though the air and water themselves carry an unseen energy. Imagining the scene, one can picture a vast ocean, waves glinting under the sun, but beneath the surface, currents twist and churn, unseen and unpredictable. A small plane crosses the horizon, its instruments flickering. A ship sails calmly, yet the wind shifts suddenly, clouds rolling in like a silent curtain. The Bermuda Triangle is a place where nature's raw power meets the limits of human perception, a reminder of how small we are against the vastness of the ocean and the mysteries it holds. Legends of the Triangle have intertwined with human imagination, inspiring books, documentaries, and speculation about extraterrestrial involvement, time warps, or portals to other dimensions. While these theories remain unproven, they underscore the fascination and fear the region evokes. The Bermuda Triangle challenges us to confront the unknown, to accept that not all mysteries can be solved by technology, maps, or logic alone. Yet, beyond fear and speculation, the Bermuda Triangle teaches patience, humility, and respect for nature. It reminds us that the oceans, covering over 70% of our planet, are still largely unexplored, home to phenomena beyond our understanding. Ships, planes, and explorers may vanish, but the sea endures, silent, unpredictable, and eternal. The Bermuda Triangle is more than a stretch of ocean. It is a testament to the unknown, a reminder that the world is larger, stranger, and more mysterious than we often imagine. It calls to our curiosity, tests our courage, and invites us to reflect on the delicate balance between human endeavor and nature's vast indifferent power. In this silence, in this expanse, the triangle endures, eternal, enigmatic, and mesmerizing, a mystery not just of the sea, but of imagination, history, and the human desire to explore what lies beyond the edge of understanding. The Nazca Lines, Peru's desert canvas, stretching across the arid plains of southern Peru, the Nazca Lines form one of the most enigmatic and awe-inspiring mysteries of the ancient world. Etched into the desert floor over 1,500 years ago, these massive geoglyphs depict animals, plants, geometric shapes, and mysterious humanoid figures, visible in their full grandeur only from the sky. Their scale, precision, and purpose continue to captivate scientists, historians, and dreamers alike. The Nazca Lines cover an area of nearly 1,000 square kilometers. Some figures stretch over 200 meters in length, their lines perfectly straight across vast distances. The desert's dry climate preserved these geoglyphs for centuries, protecting them from erosion and human interference. They are created by removing reddish-brown pebbles to reveal lighter sand beneath, forming striking contrasts that endure even today. The Nazca Lines, Peru's desert canvas, stretching across the arid plains of southern Peru, the Nazca Lines form one of the most enigmatic and awe-inspiring mysteries of the ancient world. Etched into the desert floor over 1,500 years ago, these massive geoglyphs depict animals, plants, geometric shapes, and mysterious humanoid figures, visible in their full grandeur only from the sky. Their scale, precision, and purpose continue to captivate scientists, historians, and dreamers alike. The Nazca Lines cover an area of nearly 1,000 square kilometers. Some figures stretch over 200 meters in length, their lines perfectly straight across vast distances. The desert's dry climate preserved these geoglyphs for centuries, protecting them from erosion and human interference. They are created by removing reddish-brown pebbles to reveal lighter sand beneath, forming striking contrasts that endure even today. The most famous figures include a hummingbird, a monkey, a spider, and a condor, each drawn with astonishing accuracy. In addition to animals, geometric shapes such as spirals, triangles, and trapezoids stretch across the plains, some extending for kilometers. These lines are not random. Their precision and scale suggest careful planning, coordination, and possibly ceremonial or astronomical significance. Who created the Nazca Lines and why remains a subject of debate. The Nazca people, who thrived between 200 BCE and 600 CE, are credited with their construction. Yet, without aerial views, how could they have designed such immense figures with such precision? Some scholars suggest the lines served as ritual pathways, sacred spaces meant for walking, offering prayers, or conducting ceremonies to honor gods and natural forces. Others propose astronomical alignments, linking specific lines to solstices, equinoxes, or the positions of celestial bodies, guiding agricultural cycles and religious events. One of the most fascinating aspects of the Nazca Lines is their visibility from above. While some can be recognized on the ground, their true forms only emerge from the sky, suggesting that the Nazca people may have intended them to be seen by deities or spirits. In this way, the desert becomes a canvas for the divine, a vast gallery of faith and intention, stretching beyond human perception. The creation of these geoglyphs was no small feat. Workers had to remove surface stones with precision, maintain straight lines across uneven terrain, and preserve the figure's proportions. Experiments have shown that even with rudimentary tools, the Nazca people could have achieved such accuracy using grids, stakes, and ropes. Yet the scale and number of figures still inspire awe. Over 800 straight lines and 300 figures are estimated to exist, each carrying its own symbolic or functional significance. Some theories venture into the extraordinary. Eric von Daniken and others have suggested extraterrestrial involvement, proposing that the lines served as landing strips for ancient visitors. While these ideas remain speculative, they underscore the enduring fascination the Nazca lines inspire, a human desire to explore the boundaries between the known, the imagined, and the mysterious. Archaeological studies have revealed more than just lines. Pottery, tools, and ceremonial sites indicate a complex society with rich culture and religious practice. Some geoglyphs appear near water sources, hinting at ritual connections to agriculture and sustenance. Others are linked to sacred mountains, reinforcing the notion of the desert as a spiritual landscape. Every line, every figure seems purposeful, a message frozen in sand, inviting contemplation across centuries. Walking through the Nazca Desert today is a humbling experience. The sun casts long shadows across the sand, highlighting subtle curves and lines invisible at first glance. A wind whispers across the plains, carrying echoes of ritual chants, footsteps of workers, and the silent presence of gods. Each line is a story, each figure a symbol, connecting humans to their environment, to the sky, and to forces beyond comprehension. Despite modern research, the Nazca lines retain their mystery. How did a society without aerial technology achieve such perfect proportions? Why were the figures created in a landscape so inhospitable, with little water and extreme temperatures? And what did the Nazca people hope to communicate, preserve, or honor through these monumental designs? The answers remain elusive, hidden in sand, wind, and time. The Nazca lines are not only archaeological treasures, but also invitations to reflection. They remind us that human imagination, devotion, and ingenuity can create wonders visible across time and space. They challenge us to think beyond ordinary perception, to imagine a society capable of monumental artistic and spiritual expression, and to honor the mysteries left behind. As the sun dips below the horizon, casting the desert in shades of gold and crimson, the Nazca lines glimmer faintly in the fading light. From the sky, the hummingbird, monkey, and spider reveal themselves in full majesty, whispering tales of faith, artistry, and cosmic connection. The desert lies silent, yet alive with history, waiting for those who can see beyond the ordinary to glimpse the extraordinary. The Nazca lines endure, timeless and silent, a testament to human vision and the mysteries of our past. They remind us that the earth itself can become a canvas for culture, spirituality, and imagination, and that some messages, etched in sand and stone, will speak across millennia, even when voices are long gone. The pyramids of Meroe, Sudan's forgotten kingdom. Deep in the deserts of Sudan, along the banks of the Nile, rise the pyramids of Meroe, silent sentinels of a civilization that flourished long before much of modern history was recorded. Unlike the towering pyramids of Giza, the pyramids of Meroe are smaller, steeper, and more numerous, a remarkable testament to the ancient kingdom of Kush, whose kings and queens ruled Nubia for centuries, leaving behind a legacy largely forgotten by the world. The Meroe pyramids, numbering over 200, are clustered in groups across the desert, marking royal burial sites that stretch across a vast landscape. Their steep angles and narrow bases give them a distinctive silhouette, contrasting sharply with the gentle slopes of their Egyptian cousins. Each pyramid was a tomb, a sacred resting place for kings, queens, and nobles, designed to honor the deceased and ensure their journey to the afterlife. The pyramids of Meroe are aligned along cardinal points, reflecting the Kushites' understanding of astronomy and cosmic order. Temples and chapels were often oriented to capture the sun's movement, connecting earthly rulers to celestial forces. Some pyramids feature intricate carvings of gods such as Amun, Isis, and Osiris, blending Nubian and Egyptian religious traditions in a unique cultural synthesis. Despite their historical significance, the pyramids remained largely hidden from the broader world until the 19th century, when explorers and archaeologists began documenting them. Looting and natural erosion had taken their toll, yet many pyramids retain remarkable features: hieroglyphs carved in stone, painted reliefs, and traces of ancient temples that once formed complex ceremonial centers. Archaeologists continue to uncover artifacts such as jewelry, pottery, and funerary objects, shedding light on the daily lives, beliefs, and artistry of the Kushite civilization. Walking among the pyramids today is a humbling experience. The desert stretches endlessly, golden sands meeting pale blue skies, punctuated by the sharp, triangular silhouettes of stone monuments. The air is dry, warm, and silent, broken only by the whisper of wind across sand and stone. One can imagine processions of priests, soldiers, and citizens, carrying offerings, chanting prayers, and honoring the dead in ceremonies that echoed across centuries. The pyramids also pose enduring questions. How did the Kushites develop such sophisticated construction techniques independently of Egypt? Why did they favor steep, narrow pyramids rather than the broad, monumental structures of Giza? And what secrets remain hidden within the tombs? Treasures, inscriptions, or knowledge lost to time? Each pyramid invites contemplation, urging us to connect with a civilization that thrived and vanished, leaving its mark etched in stone. The Kingdom of Kush was not merely a political entity. It was a hub of innovation, culture, and trade. Meroe's artisans produced exquisite jewelry, iron tools, and finely crafted pottery. Its rulers maintained diplomatic relations with neighboring civilizations, adapting, and innovating cultural and religious practices. The pyramids, standing silently across the desert, are tangible evidence of this sophisticated society, bridging the gap between history and legend. Even today, the pyramids inspire awe. Their distinctive shapes, the precision of their construction, and the mysteries they contain speak to the ambition, skill, and spirituality of their builders. They are monuments to memory, power, and faith, preserved by desert sands and the resilience of stone. As the sun sets over the Nubian desert, the pyramids cast long, haunting shadows across the sand. The sky glows in shades of amber and crimson, reflecting the majesty of a civilization that, while largely forgotten, continues to resonate through history. The wind carries the faint echoes of chants, footsteps, and the passage of time itself, reminding us that even in solitude, the past endures. The pyramids of Meroe are more than tombs. They are bridges to a world lost to the ages, invitations to explore, reflect, and marvel at human ingenuity. They remind us that civilizations rise and fall, yet their legacy in stone, art, and memory endures, silent, eternal, and profound. Göbekli Tepe, Turkey's stone temple of the dawn of civilization. High on a plateau in southeastern Turkey, overlooking the rolling plains and distant mountains, lies a site that has redefined our understanding of human history. Göbekli Tepe, buried for thousands of years and only fully excavated in the late 20th century, it is considered the world's oldest known temple complex, dating back over 11,000 years, long before the advent of agriculture, pottery, or written language. Its existence challenges everything we thought we knew about prehistoric humans, their society, and their spiritual life. Göbekli Tepe consists of a series of circular and oval structures, each dominated by massive stone pillars arranged with precision. The largest pillars, some weighing up to 20 tons, rise like sentinels from the ground, carved with intricate reliefs depicting animals. Lions, foxes, boars, snakes, and birds, as well as abstract symbols whose meaning remains a mystery. Each pillar seems purposeful, deliberate, and imbued with spiritual significance, hinting at ritual practices far more complex than previously believed for hunter-gatherer societies. The site was first noted by local villagers and researchers in the 1960s, but its true importance was not recognized until Klaus Schmidt began excavations in the 1990s. Schmidt and his team uncovered a staggering reality. Göbekli Tepe was not a mere settlement, but a ceremonial and ritual center, predating Stonehenge by 6,000 years and the Great Pyramids by 7,000 years. One of the most fascinating aspects of Göbekli Tepe is the artistry. The pillars are adorned with reliefs of animals in dynamic poses, some seemingly in motion, capturing the essence of wildlife observed by its builders. The carvings are detailed, expressive, and symbolically rich, suggesting not only a reverence for nature, but also an intricate system of meaning, perhaps mythological, spiritual, or cultural. These carvings also demonstrate that symbolic thinking and artistic expression existed long before the development of written language, challenging assumptions about human cognitive evolution. The purpose of Göbekli Tepe remains a subject of debate. Some scholars argue it was a religious or ceremonial site where hunter-gatherers gathered to conduct rituals, feasts, and spiritual observances. Others suggest it may have served as a pilgrimage center, attracting people from surrounding regions, a unifying force for disparate communities. The absence of domestic artifacts, such as food storage or living quarters, supports the idea that it was a sacred rather than residential site. The construction of Göbekli Tepe is itself a marvel. Carving, transporting, and erecting massive stone pillars would have required sophisticated techniques, tools, and cooperation. It raises questions about social organization in pre-agricultural societies. How did small hunter-gatherer groups mobilize enough people and resources to build such monumental structures? Were there leaders or spiritual authorities guiding the work? The answers remain elusive, leaving us to marvel at the ingenuity and ambition of people who lived more than 11 millennia ago. Another layer of mystery lies in the site's deliberate burial. Around 8000 BCE, long after its construction, the structures were systematically covered with soil, effectively hiding them from view. The reasons for this act remain unknown. Was it a ritual closure, a response to environmental change, or an attempt to preserve sacred spaces? The burial paradoxically preserved the site for modern discovery while obscuring its original context, leaving archaeologists to piece together its story from fragments and clues. Walking through Göbekli Tepe today is a journey into deep time. The massive stone pillars, rising from the earth like ancient guardians, cast long shadows in the desert sun. The wind whispers across the plateau, carrying faint echoes of rituals, chants, and the footsteps of those who once walked this sacred space. It is easy to imagine communities gathering here, feasting, observing, and seeking connection with forces larger than themselves. Forces that inspired awe, reverence, and artistic expression. Göbekli Tepe also reshapes our understanding of the origins of civilization. Previously, historians believed that agriculture preceded monumental construction and organized religion. Yet here, a sophisticated ritual center exists before the development of farming, suggesting that the desire for spiritual and communal gathering may have driven human society toward greater complexity, not the other way around. Civilization, it seems, may have begun with worship, contemplation, and shared. Even today, the site retains an aura of mystery. The abstract symbols, the alignment of pillars, the deliberate placement of structures, all invite speculation about the beliefs, cosmology, and knowledge of its builders. Scholars continue to study the site, using advanced imaging, excavation techniques, and comparative anthropology. Yet many questions remain unanswered. Göbekli Tepe is a reminder that human history is far deeper, stranger, and more remarkable than we often assume. As the sun sets over the Turkish plateau, the pillars of Göbekli Tepe cast elongated shadows across the soil. The sky glows in shades of amber and violet, reflecting the enduring majesty of a place that has survived millennia, hidden from human eyes until the modern era. It stands as a testament to human curiosity, devotion, and creativity, a silent monument to those who lived long before cities, kingdoms, and written records. Göbekli Tepe is more than a site. It is a window into the dawn of civilization, a reminder that even in the distant past, humans sought meaning, connection, and permanence in a world that was wild, vast, and mysterious. Its stones whisper stories older than any written word, challenging us to imagine the lives, hopes, and beliefs of those who shaped them, and to marvel at the enduring mysteries of human history. The Moai statues, Easter Island's silent sentinels. In the remote expanse of the South Pacific lies Easter Island, or Rapa Nui, a place both isolated and extraordinary. Here, towering stone statues, known as Moai, stand scattered across the volcanic landscape, their silent faces gazing toward the horizon. These statues, carved centuries ago, remain one of the most enigmatic creations of human history, reflecting skill, artistry, and a culture whose mysteries continue to captivate the world. The Moai were carved from volcanic tuff, a relatively soft stone found in the Rano Raraku quarry, the island's volcanic crater. Some statues reach up to 33 feet in height and weigh over 80 tons, while smaller ones, though less imposing, still command presence. Each Moai possesses a distinct expression, solemn, serene, sometimes stern, suggesting a deep spiritual or cultural significance. The statues were created by the Rapa Nui people between the 13th and 16th centuries. They are believed to represent ancestors, chiefs, or other important figures, serving as intermediaries between the human world and the divine. Positioned on stone platforms called ahu, these statues often faced inland, watching over villages, fields, and the living, symbolically protecting the community and maintaining a spiritual connection across generations. The creation of the Moai was an immense endeavor. Workers chiseled the statues directly from volcanic rock using stone tools, carefully shaping the heads, torsos, and facial features. Transporting the statues from the quarry to their final locations across the island remains a subject of debate and wonder. Oral tradition and experiments suggest they may have been walked upright using ropes and coordinated effort, or moved on sledges and rollers. Regardless of method, the task required remarkable organization, skill, and communal cooperation. Beyond their construction, the Moai hold profound cultural symbolism. Many archaeologists believe they were expressions of mana, a Polynesian concept of spiritual power. By carving and erecting these statues, the Rapa Nui sought to channel the mana of their ancestors, ensuring the prosperity, protection, and continuity of their communities. The statues were not merely artistic. They were spiritual instruments, connecting the living and the dead, the earthly and the divine. The Moai also pose mysteries that continue to intrigue researchers. Why did the Rapa Nui invest such enormous effort in erecting these colossal statues? How did they coordinate such labor-intensive projects on an isolated island with limited resources? And why did the tradition eventually cease, leaving many statues incomplete or toppled? Some suggest environmental pressures, such as deforestation and soil depletion, led to societal upheaval, while others highlight internal conflicts or cultural shifts as possible factors. Standing among the Moai today is a humbling experience. The statues rise from grassy slopes and coastal cliffs, their massive forms casting long shadows under the sun. The wind sweeps across the island, carrying whispers of chants, rituals, and footsteps of those who carved, transported, and worshipped these figures. Each Moai tells a story of craftsmanship, devotion, belief, and the enduring human desire to leave a mark upon the world. The island itself adds to the mystery. Rapa Nui's isolation, over 2,000 miles from the nearest continent, meant that its inhabitants developed a unique culture, largely cut off from external influence. Yet they produced an extraordinary number of statues. Over 900 Moai once stood across the island, more than any other Polynesian settlement. Their scale, precision, and consistency highlight a society with intricate social organization and a deep understanding of communal effort. Over time, many Moai were toppled, some deliberately, others by natural causes such as earthquakes or erosion. European explorers first documented the fallen statues in the 18th century, prompting speculation about societal collapse, ritual upheaval, or external influence. Modern conservation efforts have restored several moai to their original platforms, allowing visitors and researchers to glimpse their intended majesty and orientation. The moai endure as both cultural treasures and enduring mysteries. They remind us of the capacity for human ingenuity, perseverance, and devotion, even in remote, challenging environments. Each statue, silent yet expressive, embodies the spiritual, social, and artistic achievements of the Rapa Nui people. They connect us across centuries, urging contemplation of ancestry, community, and the impermanence of human endeavors. As the sun sets over the Pacific, the moai cast long, contemplated shadows across the island. The sky glows in shades of pink and gold, reflecting off the statues' stoic faces. In this moment, the past feels alive. The labor, devotion, and belief of the Rapa Nui resonate across time. The moai are more than stone. They are vessels of memory, guardians of culture, and silent witnesses to human history's triumphs and mysteries. Easter Island's statues endure not only as monuments of art and engineering, but as timeless symbols of mystery, connection, and resilience. They challenge us to ponder the extraordinary capabilities of isolated societies, the interplay of culture and spirituality, and the enduring allure of history's greatest enigmas. And in their silent gaze, we find both wonder and reflection, a reminder that even in solitude, humanity can create legacies that speak across millennia. Stonehenge, England's ancient circle of mystery. On the wind-swept plains of Wiltshire, England, rises Stonehenge, a monumental circle of stones that has captured human imagination for thousands of years. Its towering sarsen stones, some weighing over 25 tons, form a precise circular arrangement whose purpose continues to baffle historians, archaeologists, and visitors alike. Stonehenge stands as a silent testament to the ingenuity, spirituality, and ambition of the people who built it, bridging millennia of mystery and human endeavor. The construction of Stonehenge spanned centuries, beginning around 3100 BCE with the erection of earthen banks and ditches, and continuing through successive phases until around 1600 BCE. The largest stones, known as sarsens, were transported from Marlborough Downs, over 20 miles away, while smaller bluestones came from the Preseli Hills in Wales, nearly 150 miles distant. Moving such massive stones over long distances with primitive tools and technology remains one of history's enduring enigmas, highlighting the extraordinary organization, determination, and ingenuity of prehistoric communities. Stonehenge's purpose is equally enigmatic. Scholars have proposed a range of explanations, from astronomical observatory to religious sanctuary, from burial ground to ritual site. Its alignment with the summer and winter solstices suggests a sophisticated understanding of celestial movements. On the longest day of the year, the sun rises directly above the heel stone, casting light through the stone circle in a precise, awe-inspiring alignment. Similarly, the winter solstice sunrise and sunset alignments indicate that the builders observed and honored the cycles of the sun, linking human life to cosmic rhythms. Beyond astronomy, Stonehenge is rich in spiritual and ceremonial significance. Excavations have revealed cremation burials, ritual deposits, and traces of feasting, suggesting that the site was a focal point for social, religious, and cultural activities. It may have served as a pilgrimage destination, where people gathered to honor ancestors, seek divine favor, or celebrate seasonal change. Stonehenge embodies a connection between humanity and the natural world, a space where earth, sky, and stone converge in sacred harmony. The stones themselves are remarkable. The sarsens, some standing over 30 feet tall, are arranged in a post and lintel construction, forming lintels atop vertical stones, creating a perfectly balanced structure that has endured millennia of weather and erosion. The smaller blue stones, rich in mineral color and origin, carry a symbolic or ritual significance whose full meaning remains unknown. Each stone, chosen, shaped, and erected with precision, reflects the care, reverence, and effort of its creators. Stonehenge also presents enduring mysteries about construction techniques. How did prehistoric people transport massive stones over vast distances without wheeled vehicles or modern machinery? Experimental archaeology suggests methods involving sledges, rollers, levers, and manpower, but the scale and coordination required remain astounding. Scholars continue to debate how communities of hunter-gatherers and early farmers achieved such feats, revealing the ingenuity and determination of early human societies. Visiting Stonehenge today is a journey into deep history. The vast plains stretch endlessly, wind sweeping across grass and stone, creating a sense of timelessness and isolation. Standing within the circle, one can imagine the chants, rituals, and ceremonies of long-gone peoples. The air seems charged with memory, a palpable connection to the past where human ambition, devotion, and cosmic observation converged in monumental form. Stonehenge's significance extends beyond construction and alignment. It is a cultural beacon linking prehistoric societies to modern observers. Its preservation and study allow us to glimpse early human cognition, community organization, and spiritual life. The site demonstrates that even thousands of years ago, humans sought meaning, connection, and permanence, shaping their environment to reflect both utility and reverence. Over the centuries, Stonehenge has inspired countless legends and theories. Some suggest it was built by Druids, though this postdates the monument's construction by millennia. Others speculate about ancient kings, magical powers, or celestial communication. While many of these tales are imaginative, they underscore the enduring fascination the site commands. Stonehenge is not just stones in a circle. It is a symbol of human curiosity, creativity, and the quest to understand our place in the universe. As the sun sets over the Salisbury Plain, Stonehenge casts long, dramatic shadows across the grass. The sky glows with hues of gold, pink, and violet, illuminating the stones in a way that connects past and present. One can almost hear echoes of drums, chants, and footsteps of those who built and revered this sacred site, reminding us that human aspiration and reverence have endured across millennia. Stonehenge endures not only as a monument of architecture and astronomy, but as a window into the human spirit. It challenges us to imagine the minds that conceived it, the hands that shaped it, and the beliefs that animated it. Its mystery is timeless, its presence commanding, and its legacy a testament to the enduring quest for knowledge, connection, and meaning. The Great Wall of China, humanity's endless sentinel, stretching across deserts, mountains, and plains. The Great Wall of China is one of the most extraordinary feats of human engineering ever accomplished. Unlike other ancient structures, the wall is not a single monument, but a sprawling network of walls, watchtowers, and fortifications, weaving thousands of miles across northern China. Built over centuries, it stands as a testament to human ambition, ingenuity, and the unyielding desire to protect and unify. The earliest sections of the wall were constructed as early as the 7th century BCE by various regional states, but the most famous sections, including those near Beijing, were built during the Ming Dynasty, 1368 to 1644 CE. Its purpose was primarily defensive, to protect the Chinese states from nomadic invasions, particularly from the Xiongnu and other northern tribes. Yet the wall also served as a symbol of authority, an assertion of imperial power, and a marker of civilization, stretching across vast and often hostile landscapes. The scale of the Great Wall is staggering. Estimates suggest that including all branches and sections, the wall spans over 21,000 kilometers, over 13,000 miles. Its construction involved millions of laborers, soldiers, peasants, and prisoners, who transported massive stones, tamped earth, and built watchtowers along precipitous cliffs. Life for the workers was harsh. The wall winds across mountains, deserts, and rivers, exposing them to extreme weather, fatigue, and danger. Many perished during construction, their sacrifices leaving an invisible human story etched into every stone. The architecture of the wall is both functional and symbolic. Watchtowers punctuate the wall at regular intervals, providing vantage points to spot approaching enemies and send smoke or fire signals across vast distances. The wall itself varies in construction depending on terrain. Compacted earth and wood in plains, stone and bricks in mountains. Its height and thickness were carefully calculated to resist sieges, while its serpentine route follows natural contours, creating a structure that is as visually dramatic as it is militarily effective. Beyond defense, the wall served as a conduit for communication, trade, and cultural exchange. Garrisoned soldiers patrolled the wall, while merchants and travelers used nearby passes to move goods and ideas. The wall thus became more than a barrier. It was a dynamic structure interacting with human activity, commerce, and society, linking regions and shaping the course of Chinese history. The wall also holds enduring mysteries. How were such vast sections built over rugged terrain with primitive tools? How did logistics, food, and water supply reach workers in remote areas? And what was the psychological impact of a structure so immense that it stretched beyond the horizon? The Great Wall challenges our imagination, a marvel of coordination, engineering, and human will. Visiting the wall today is both humbling and awe-inspiring. Sections near Beijing, such as Badaling and Mutianyu, allow visitors to walk along its ramparts, ascending watchtowers and following its winding path across the mountains. The wind sweeps across the wall, carrying echoes of history. Footsteps of soldiers, the rhythm of hammers shaping stones, and the faint murmur of millions who lived under its protection. Standing atop the wall, one can feel the immensity of both the structure and the vision required to build it. The wall's cultural significance extends far beyond its physical presence. It symbolizes the resilience, determination, and unity of the Chinese people. Legends and folklore abound, from stories of love and sacrifice, like Meng Zhongnu's tears collapsing a section of the wall, to tales of heroic generals defending the empire. It embodies human aspiration, a monumental attempt to impose order, security, and identity upon an unpredictable world. Over centuries, natural forces and human neglect have caused sections of the wall to crumble. Yet restoration efforts have preserved key segments, allowing us to experience its grandeur. Scholars continue to study its construction methods, materials, and historical impact, uncovering insights into ancient Chinese society, military strategy, and engineering prowess. Each stone, each watchtower tells a story of vision, endurance, and human determination in the face of monumental challenges. The Great Wall of China, humanity's endless sentinel, stretching across deserts, mountains, and plains. The Great Wall of China is one of the most extraordinary feats of human engineering ever accomplished. Unlike other ancient structures, the wall is not a single monument, but a sprawling network of walls, watchtowers, and fortifications, weaving thousands of miles across northern China. Built over centuries, it stands as a testament to human ambition, ingenuity, and the unyielding desire to protect and unify. The earliest sections of the wall were constructed as early as the 7th century BCE by various regional states, but the most famous sections, including those near Beijing, were built during the Ming Dynasty, 1368 to 1644 CE. Its purpose was primarily defensive, to protect the Chinese states from nomadic invasions, particularly from the Xiongnu and other northern tribes. Yet the wall also served as a symbol of authority, an assertion of imperial power, and a marker of civilization stretching across vast and often hostile landscapes. The scale of the Great Wall is staggering. Estimates suggest that including all branches and sections, the wall spans over 21,000 kilometers, over 13,000 miles. Its construction involved millions of laborers, soldiers, peasants, and prisoners, who transported massive stones, tamped earth, and built watchtowers along precipitous cliffs. Life for the workers was harsh. The wall winds across mountains, deserts, and rivers, exposing them to extreme weather, fatigue, and danger. Many perished during construction, their sacrifices leaving an invisible human story etched into every stone. The architecture of the wall is both functional and symbolic. Watchtowers punctuate the wall at regular intervals, providing vantage points to spot approaching enemies and send smoke or fire signals across vast distances. The wall itself varies in construction depending on terrain. Compacted earth and wood in plains, stone and bricks in mountains. Its height and thickness were carefully calculated to resist sieges, while its serpentine route follows natural contours, creating a structure that is as visually dramatic as it is militarily effective. Beyond defense, the wall served as a conduit for communication, trade, and cultural exchange. Garrisoned soldiers patrolled the wall, while merchants and travelers used nearby passes to move goods and ideas. The wall thus became more than a barrier. It was a dynamic structure interacting with human activity, commerce, and society, linking regions and shaping the course of Chinese history. The wall also holds enduring mysteries. How were such vast sections built over rugged terrain with primitive tools? How did logistics, food, and water supply reach workers in remote areas? And what was the psychological impact of a structure so immense that it stretched beyond the horizon? The Great Wall challenges our imagination, a marvel of coordination, engineering, and human will. Visiting the wall today is both humbling and awe-inspiring. sections near Beijing, such as Badaling and Mutianyu, allow visitors to walk along its ramparts, ascending watchtowers and following its winding path across the mountains. The wind sweeps across the wall, carrying echoes of history. Footsteps of soldiers, the rhythm of hammers shaping stones, and the faint murmur of millions who lived under its protection. Standing atop the wall, one can feel the immensity of both the structure and the vision required to build it. The wall's cultural significance extends far beyond its physical presence. It symbolizes the resilience, determination, and unity of the Chinese people. Legends and folklore abound, from stories of love and sacrifice, like Meng Zhongnu's tears collapsing a section of the wall, to tales of heroic generals defending the empire. It embodies human aspiration, a monumental attempt to impose order, security, and identity upon an unpredictable world. Over centuries, natural forces and human neglect have caused sections of the wall to crumble. Yet restoration efforts have preserved key segments, allowing us to experience its grandeur. Scholars continue to study its construction methods, materials, and historical impact, uncovering insights into ancient Chinese society, military strategy, and engineering prowess. Each stone, each watchtower tells a story of vision, endurance, and human determination in the face of monumental challenges. As the sun sets over the mountains and deserts, the Great Wall stretches into the distance, its silhouette weaving across the landscape like a dragon frozen in stone. The fading light illuminates the texture of centuries-old bricks, the shadows of towers, and the contours of rugged terrain. In that moment, the wall is more than a fortification. It is a narrative of human ambition, resilience, and the pursuit of permanence in an ever-changing world. The Great Wall of China endures as both a practical defense and a profound symbol. It challenges modern observers to imagine the vision, labor, and coordination required to build a structure of such scope. It inspires reflection on the endurance of human effort, the shaping of history, and the ways civilizations assert their presence across time and space. In its stones, we find echoes of the past, a monument that connects generations, landscapes, and the enduring mystery of human endeavor. Stone circles of Scotland and Ireland, guardians of the ancient isles. Across the windswept hills and misty plains of Scotland and Ireland stand countless stone circles, silent sentinels of a distant past. From the famous Callanish stones on the Isle of Lewis to the smaller, scattered circles of Munster and Ulster, these megalithic monuments have fascinated historians, archaeologists, and travelers for centuries. Their origins, purposes, and the rituals performed within them remain shrouded in mystery, evoking awe and speculation. The Callanish stones, perhaps the most iconic of Scotland's circles, consist of a cruciform arrangement of standing stones with a central monolith surrounded by smaller pillars. Erected around 2900 BCE, the site predates Stonehenge and demonstrates advanced astronomical awareness. The alignment of stones with lunar and solar events suggests that the builders observed celestial patterns, integrating their observations into monumental architecture. At certain times of the year, the rising or setting sun and moon align perfectly with the stones, illuminating them in ways that would have held spiritual or ceremonial significance for ancient peoples. In Ireland, stone circles such as Drombeg and Loch Gur exhibit similar sophistication. These circles, often situated on elevated ground near water sources, likely served multiple purposes: ritual, astronomical, and social. Excavations reveal evidence of feasting, offerings, and ceremonial fires, suggesting that these sites were hubs of communal activity, where the living connected with ancestors, deities, and the cosmos. The construction of these circles is a feat of both engineering and organization. Stones weighing several tons were transported across challenging terrain using rudimentary tools, human coordination, and perhaps wooden rollers or sledges. The precision of placement, particularly for astronomical alignments, implies meticulous observation, planning, and the transmission of knowledge across generations. Each stone, carefully chosen and positioned, reflects a society that valued cosmic order, ritual practice, and communal effort. Many of the stone circles are surrounded by smaller henges, cairns, or pits, adding layers to their mystery. Some circles exhibit recumbent stones, flattened or horizontally positioned monoliths thought to mark lunar or solar events. Others include cup marks or carvings, whose meanings remain speculative, possibly maps of the stars, symbols of deities, or markers of spiritual events. These carvings, subtle yet deliberate, hint at a symbolic language that has been lost to time. The spiritual significance of the stone circles cannot be overstated. They served as spaces where people could gather to observe natural and celestial phenomena, conduct rituals, and reinforce social cohesion. They were places where the cycles of the sun, moon, and seasons were celebrated, ensuring the survival of communities dependent on agriculture and hunting. The stones themselves, enduring through millennia, may have been viewed as embodiments of divine presence, holding spiritual power and marking sacred ground. Visiting the stone circles today is a journey through time. The air is crisp and often mist-laden, carrying the scent of earth and heather. Wind sweeps across hills and moors, creating an eerie resonance as it whistles through standing stones. Walking among the monoliths, one can almost sense the presence of the people who once lived, worked, and worshipped here. Their voices, footsteps, and rituals echoing faintly across millennia. The circle's connection to astronomy is particularly fascinating. Many are oriented towards solstices, equinoxes, and lunar standstills, demonstrating advanced understanding of celestial cycles. Such knowledge would have been critical for agricultural planning, ritual timing, and maintaining social cohesion. The builder's ability to integrate this knowledge into enduring stone monuments speaks to both intellectual and spiritual sophistication. Stone circles also reflect social complexity. Constructing these monuments required coordinated labor, resource management, and leadership. The effort involved in transporting stones, organizing ceremonies, and maintaining sacred spaces indicates hierarchical organization, communal participation, and shared belief systems. Each circle stands not only as a physical structure, but as a testament to the ingenuity, cooperation, and spirituality of ancient communities. As the sun sets over the rolling hills, the stones cast long shadows across the landscape. The sky glows in hues of gold and crimson, illuminating the contours of each monolith. In this serene and timeless setting, it is easy to imagine the rituals, celebrations, and silent contemplation of those who first erected these stones. They remain, across centuries, as guardians of memory, knowledge, and mystery. The stone circles of Scotland and Ireland endure not merely as archaeological sites, but as portals into the human past. connecting us to a time when the earth, sky, and human life were deeply intertwined. They remind us that even in a pre-literate world, civilizations could conceive, design, and construct monuments of enduring power, resonating with meaning and cosmic significance. In their quiet majesty, the circles challenge us to contemplate the mysteries of human intention, skill, and spiritual devotion. They are enduring symbols of the human desire to understand the world, celebrate life and death, and leave a legacy carved into the very landscape. The stones, wind, and sky converge to tell a story, one that is ancient, enigmatic, and profoundly inspiring. Ancient Mesopotamia, ziggurats and the Hanging Gardens, between the Tigris and Euphrates rivers, in a land often called the cradle of civilization. The ancient civilizations of Mesopotamia rose, creating some of the earliest urban societies, monumental architecture, and enduring mysteries of human history. Among their most remarkable achievements were the ziggurats, massive stepped temples reaching toward the heavens, and the legendary Hanging Gardens of Babylon, a wonder whose very existence continues to intrigue scholars. Ziggurats, found across Sumer, Akkad, Assyria, and Babylon, were monumental temples constructed from mud brick and adorned with baked brick facades. These stepped pyramidal structures served as religious centers, believed to bridge the gap between humanity and the gods. Each ziggurat consisted of multiple terraces, often with a shrine at the top, where priests performed rituals and offerings. The ziggurat of Ur, dedicated to the moon god Nana, is among the best preserved examples, revealing the grandeur, precision, and spiritual significance of these structures. The construction of ziggurats was an extraordinary feat in an era without modern tools. Laborers, organized under centralized authority, transported thousands of mud bricks, shaped and dried under the scorching Mesopotamian sun. Each terrace required careful planning to support the weight of the levels above and withstand seasonal flooding. These monumental constructions were not only religious centers, but statements of political power, urban organization, and cultural sophistication. Ziggurats were often the centerpiece of city-states, surrounded by administrative buildings, workshops, and markets. They symbolized the centrality of the divine in everyday life, emphasizing the ruler's role as intermediaries between gods and people. Festivals, ceremonies, and astronomical observations took place at the terraces, blending civic life with religious devotion. The ziggurats were thus both functional and symbolic, asserting authority, faith, and knowledge in enduring stone. The Hanging Gardens of Babylon, meanwhile, are enveloped in legend and mystery. According to classical accounts, these terraced gardens were built by King Nebuchadnezzar II for his queen Amidis, who longed for the lush greenery of her homeland. They are described as a series of ascending terraces, planted with trees, shrubs, and vines, creating an artificial mountain of greenery in the heart of the arid city. Advanced irrigation systems, drawing water from the Euphrates, would have sustained this verdant marvel, showcasing Mesopotamian ingenuity in engineering, hydraulics, and aesthetics. Despite centuries of fascination, the Hanging Gardens' existence remains uncertain. Archaeological evidence has not definitively confirmed their location, leading some scholars to speculate that they may have been located in Nineveh, or that the accounts were exaggerations or symbolic descriptions. Nevertheless, the idea of a lush, suspended garden in the desert highlights the ambition, creativity, and sophistication of Mesopotamian culture. Mesopotamian urban centers were hubs of innovation, trade, and culture. The construction of monumental architecture required knowledge of engineering, mathematics, and logistics. Coordinating labor forces, sourcing materials, and maintaining complex structures reflected not only technical skill, but also societal organization, hierarchy, and governance. These achievements hint at a civilization capable of remarkable foresight and enduring ambition. The spiritual and astronomical dimensions of Mesopotamian architecture are equally compelling. Ziggurats were often aligned with celestial bodies, reflecting observation of stars, planets, and the sun. Priests used these alignments to track agricultural cycles, religious festivals, and omens. This integration of science, spirituality, and architecture underscores a worldview in which the cosmos, the divine, and human society were inseparably linked. Visiting the remnants of Mesopotamian sites today, one can feel the imprint of a civilization that flourished thousands of years ago. The remaining mud brick terraces, foundations, and ruins evoke visions of bustling city-states, ceremonial processions, and awe-inspiring rituals. One can almost hear the chants of priests, the rhythm of laborers at construction sites, and the bustling markets that surrounded these monumental achievements. Despite time, invasion, and environmental change, Mesopotamian structures endure as symbols of human ambition, knowledge, and spiritual pursuit. Ziggurats stand as silent guardians of faith and power, while the legend of the Hanging Gardens continues to inspire imagination, ingenuity, and the desire to achieve beauty against all odds. Together, they represent the enduring mysteries of a civilization that laid the foundations of writing, law, astronomy, and monumental architecture. The legacy of Mesopotamia challenges modern observers to reflect on the power of vision, organization, and belief. How did these ancient peoples conceive and construct such enduring monuments? How did they combine technical knowledge with spiritual devotion to create structures that communicated power, faith, and cosmic understanding? While some answers remain elusive, the mysteries themselves inspire awe, curiosity, and reverence as the sun sets over the Tigris and Euphrates, casting long shadows over the ruins of ziggurats and imagined terraces of the Hanging Gardens. One can imagine the grandeur of Mesopotamian cities. Dust rises in the evening breeze, and the ancient river flows, just as it did thousands of years ago, witnessing the rise and fall of civilizations, the building of wonders, and the enduring mysteries that captivate our imagination to this day. Angkor Wat, Cambodia's majestic legacy. Deep in the dense jungles of Cambodia, the majestic spires of Angkor Wat rise above the canopy, a testament to the ambition, artistry, and spiritual devotion of the Khmer Empire. Constructed in the early 12th century under King Suryavarman II, Angkor Wat was initially a Hindu temple dedicated to Vishnu, though it later transitioned into a Buddhist sanctuary. Its scale, architectural sophistication, and symbolic depth make it one of the most extraordinary monuments in human history. Angkor Wat's layout is a masterclass in symbolism and cosmic alignment. The temple complex, spanning over 162 hectares, is designed to represent Mount Meru, the mythical center of the universe in Hindu cosmology. Its central towers symbolize the mountain's peaks, while surrounding moats and concentric galleries represent the cosmic oceans. Walking through its corridors, one cannot help but feel the harmony between the built environment and the natural landscape, reflecting the Khmer understanding of space, spirituality, and symbolism. The temple's bas-reliefs and sculptures are masterpieces of artistic expression. The walls depict scenes from Hindu epics, such as the Ramayana and Mahabharata, as well as historical accounts of battles, royal ceremonies, and daily life. These carvings are not merely decorative. They serve as narrative, spiritual, and educational tools, conveying stories of divine and earthly power to generations of worshippers and visitors. The sheer precision and intricacy of these bas-reliefs remain astonishing, reflecting a civilization with exceptional artistic and technical skills. Angkor Wat also exemplifies advanced engineering. Massive sandstone blocks, weighing several tons each, were quarried, transported, and meticulously assembled without modern machinery. The construction required coordination of thousands of laborers, architects, and artisans. Hydraulic engineering played a crucial role. Extensive reservoirs, canals, and moats provided water management, irrigation, and symbolic representation of cosmic oceans, ensuring both practical functionality and spiritual significance. The temple's alignment with the sun is another remarkable feature. During the spring equinox, the sunrise perfectly illuminates the central tower, highlighting the Khmer architect's understanding of astronomy. Such celestial integration suggests that the temple served not only as a place of worship, but also as a cosmic observatory, connecting earthly life with the rhythms of the universe. Beyond Angkor Wat, the surrounding Angkor complex holds countless other mysteries. Temples such as Bayon, with its enigmatic smiling faces, and Ta Prohm, overgrown by massive tree roots, reveal a civilization that mastered urban planning, religious symbolism, and environmental adaptation. Each temple has its own story, its own purpose, and its own connection to the broader cultural, spiritual, and political life of the Khmer Empire. The construction of Angkor and its temples raises enduring questions. How did the Khmer organize labor, logistics, and resources on such an immense scale? How were massive stones transported across forests and rivers? What rituals, ceremonies, and daily activities took place within these monumental structures? Archaeological studies provide insight, but the full picture of Khmer life and ingenuity remains tantalizingly incomplete, preserving the aura of mystery. Angkor Wat's spiritual dimension is profound. The temple was designed as a microcosm of the universe, reflecting the Khmer understanding of cosmic order and human duty. Religious rituals, festivals, and royal ceremonies imbued the site with life, connecting mortals with divine power. The integration of art, architecture, astronomy, and spirituality exemplifies the holistic vision of a civilization capable of creating monumental works that endure across centuries. Visiting Angkor Wat today is an experience of awe and contemplation. The first light of dawn illuminates the central towers, reflecting in the surrounding moat and casting long shadows across the ancient sandstone. The sounds of tropical birds, rustling leaves, and distant chants enhance the atmosphere of mystery and reverence. Walking through its corridors, one can sense the presence of countless generations, their devotion, creativity, and ambition etched into every stone. Angkor Wat also reminds us of the impermanence and resilience of civilizations. the jungle gradually reclaimed parts of the city, while political shifts led to periods of abandonment. Yet the temples endure, preserved by stone, devotion, and modern conservation efforts. They invite reflection on human ambition, the relationship between nature and civilization, and the mysteries that survive the passage of time. The legacy of Angkor Wat resonates far beyond Cambodia. It stands as a symbol of human creativity, spiritual vision, and architectural mastery. Its monuments challenge observers to consider the ingenuity required to construct such enduring structures, the societal organization behind them, and the cosmic understanding embedded within their design. In every carved relief, towering spire, and reflecting pool, the Khmer Empire whispers stories of faith, power, and mystery. As the sun sets behind the central towers, bathing the temple in golden light, Angkor Wat appears suspended between time and eternity. The interplay of stone, shadow, and reflection evokes a civilization in dialogue with the universe, leaving an indelible impression of wonder, reverence, and curiosity. Here, in the heart of Southeast Asia, the mysteries of the past endure, inviting every visitor to contemplate human ambition, spiritual devotion, and the timeless quest to create monuments that bridge the mortal and the divine. Petra, Persepolis, and the Dead Sea Scrolls, Middle Eastern ancient mysteries. Hidden in the rugged deserts of Jordan lies Petra, the fabled Rose City, a metropolis carved directly into rose-colored sandstone cliffs. Founded around the 4th century BCE by the Nabatean civilization, Petra became a thriving trade hub, linking Arabia, Egypt, and the Mediterranean. Its monumental facades, intricate water channels, and vast tombs reveal a society that combined engineering brilliance, artistic mastery, and strategic acumen. Yet much about their culture remains enigmatic. Petra's most iconic structure, the Al-Hazna, the treasury, captivates visitors with its elaborate Hellenistic facade, carved into the sandstone cliff. Beyond aesthetics, Petra's complex water management system, including aqueducts, cisterns, and reservoirs, enabled life in an arid landscape, showcasing extraordinary hydraulic engineering. Scholars still debate the full extent of Nabatean knowledge in surveying, urban planning, and construction techniques, which allowed them to manipulate both stone and water with astonishing precision. The city's layout, tombs, and temples reflect deep spiritual and political organization. Petra served as both a commercial powerhouse and a ceremonial center, blending mercantile activity with ritual observance. Elaborate tombs and sacred spaces suggest the Nabateans' revered ancestors and deities, while trade routes amplified their wealth, influence, and cultural exchange with neighboring civilizations. To the east, Persepolis, in present-day Iran, stands as a testament to the Achaemenid Empire's grandeur. Founded around 518 BCE by Darius I, Persepolis served as a ceremonial capital, showcasing imperial power through monumental architecture, reliefs, and terraces. Massive stone columns, intricately carved staircases, and palatial halls speak of political authority, ceremonial sophistication, and artistic achievement. Persepolis's reliefs vividly depict processions of tribute bearers from across the empire, highlighting both the diversity of subjects and the centralized power of the king. Its construction required the coordination of thousands of artisans, laborers, and architects, with materials sourced from distant regions. despite its destruction by Alexander the Great in 330 BCE. The city's ruins continue to reveal insights into Achaemenid culture, religion, and statecraft. Yet many mysteries remain. How were such monumental stones transported over vast distances? What rituals were performed within these grand halls? And how did symbolism communicate authority across a multi-ethnic empire? Further south, along the shores of the Dead Sea, the discovery of the Dead Sea Scrolls added a textual dimension to ancient mystery. Hidden in caves near Qumran between 1947 and 1956, these scrolls date from the 3rd century BCE to the 1st century CE and include fragments of biblical texts, apocryphal writings, and sectarian manuscripts. The scrolls provide invaluable insight into Jewish society, law, theology, and eschatology during the Second Temple period. Yet they also raise questions about authorship, intent, and historical context. The scrolls' preservation in clay jars, often in nearly inaccessible caves, suggests deliberate concealment, likely to protect sacred knowledge from impending conflict or destruction. Scholars continue to debate the identity of the communities responsible for the scrolls, their relationship to early Christian thought, and their significance for understanding ancient Judaism. The fact that so many texts have survived for over 2 millennia in fragile conditions adds to the mystery and allure. Petra, Persepolis, and the Dead Sea Scrolls collectively illustrate the extraordinary achievements of ancient Middle Eastern civilizations. They reflect advanced engineering, monumental artistry, urban planning, political organization, and textual sophistication. Yet despite centuries of study, unanswered questions abound. The Nabateans' full understanding of hydraulics, the precise ceremonial practices of the Achaemenid elite, and the intentions behind the Qumran manuscripts. Each site challenges historians and archaeologists to reconstruct the lives, beliefs, and ingenuity of societies whose direct voices are largely lost. Visiting Petra today, one feels the grandeur and isolation of a city carved from stone, the whisper of desert winds through narrow canyons, and the shadow of ancient tombs. In Persepolis, the vast terraces and towering columns evoke imperial pageantry and ceremonial power, even amidst the ruins. At Qumran, the silence of the caves underscores the fragility and endurance of written knowledge, reminding us of the lengths to which people went to preserve wisdom and spiritual insight. These Middle Eastern mysteries also highlight the interplay between environment, technology, and culture. Petra's desert required innovative water management. Persepolis's rocky terraces demanded engineering precision, and the Qumran caves safeguarded delicate manuscripts. Human ingenuity, adaptation, and devotion converge in these sites, demonstrating that even in harsh or complex environments, civilizations could achieve monumental, enduring feats. As the sun sets across Petra's rose-colored cliffs, Persepolis's shattered columns, and the silent Qumran caves, shadows stretch and deepen, revealing the contours and textures of human ambition. These ancient sites invite reflection on power, faith, ingenuity, and the enduring mysteries that connect us to civilizations long past. Petra, Persepolis, and the Dead Sea Scrolls remain timeless reminders that humanity has always sought to leave a mark, whether through stone, text, or city, on the world, inspiring curiosity and awe across millennia. Final ending, reflection on ancient mysteries. As we close our journey across the globe, one truth becomes clear. The ancient world is far more than a collection of ruins, stones, and artifacts. Each monument, each civilization, each enigmatic relic is a window into the minds and hearts of people who lived thousands of years before us. They dreamed, they built, they reached for the heavens, and in doing so, they left puzzles that continue to challenge and inspire. From the soaring pyramids of Egypt to the carved cliffs of Petra, from the Moai of Easter Island to the secretive Nazca Lines, humanity's quest for knowledge, meaning, and connection is etched in stone, soil, and sky. Some questions have been answered. Many remain mysteries, and perhaps that is the point. The unknown invites curiosity, reflection, and imagination. These ancient mysteries remind us of the boundless creativity, ambition, and resilience of humanity. They call on us to look beyond what is obvious, to question, to explore, and to marvel at the ingenuity of civilizations long past. They remind us that even in the face of time, change, and decay, the human spirit can leave a mark that transcends generations. So as we step back from these monuments, these silent witnesses of history, let us carry their stories forward, not just as knowledge, but as inspiration. The mysteries of the past are not closed chapters. They are ongoing conversations, inviting each of us to wonder, to seek, and to dream. The ancient world may still hold its secrets, but it has also given us a gift, a reminder that curiosity, creativity, and courage are timeless. And as long as we continue to explore, question, and imagine, the story of humanity and its mysteries will never truly end. Thank you for joining this journey. Until the next mystery calls, may your imagination roam as freely as the ancients dreamed.